Have you ever looked at someone who's made it to $100 million and just wondered, how? How do they make that leap when so many people get stuck at 100,000? Well, I'll tell you, it's not just about luck. It's about a complete shift in strategy. So let's break down exactly what that looks like.
You know, hitting that first 100K is a massive achievement, for real. But for a lot of people, that's where the story kind of stalls. It's like hitting a giant financial plateau. See, the skills that got you to 100 grand, the saving, the grinding, the discipline, they're not the same skills that are going to get you to $1 million, and definitely not to 100 million. The momentum just fades.
And you know, this quote from the legend Charlie Munger just nails it. He says, the first 100K is a bitch to get, but after that, it's just math. That first part, the grind, that's done. Now your job is to get really, really good at the math. The game completely changes. It's no longer about just saving up. It's about strategic acceleration. So how do you do it? Well, it all comes down to 4 key pillars.
Okay, pillar number 1. And honestly, this is the most important one because it all starts up here, in your head. It's about making the switch from a saver's mindset to an accelerator's mindset. And that might sound like just words, but trust me, it fundamentally changes every single financial decision you make from here on out.
So let's look at the difference here. The accumulator, on the left, is playing defense. They're obsessed with their savings rate, they're grinding for every single dollar, and the big question in their mind is, can I even reach financial independence? But the accelerator, they're playing offense. They're thinking about speed, about velocity. They're asking, how can I make my money grow faster? How can I optimize for taxes? The question literally shifts from can I to how fast can I?
All right, so once your mindset's in the right place, that brings us to pillar number 2. This is all about the fuel for your journey. Being frugal might get you to your first 100,000, but to really accelerate past that, you need a seriously powerful income engine. I mean, it's simple, right? You can't invest what you don't earn. So cranking up your earning power has to become priority number 1.
So where does this extra income actually come from? Well, here are 4 high-margin business models to think about. I mean, look at the top of this list. Consulting and software as a service. We're talking margins of 70, 80, even 90%. That is incredible. It means that for every dollar you earn, the vast majority of it can go straight back into your wealth-building machine.
But hey, listen, you don't have to go out and build the next Silicon Valley unicorn. Don't forget about the so-called boring businesses. Things like cleaning services, accounting, logistics, these businesses solve real, everyday problems. They have predictable demand, and you know what? They quietly create millionaires year in and year out.
And whether you decide to start a business or just seriously level up your career, the name of the game is mastering high-value skills. I'm talking about things like copywriting, AI automation, and especially sales. These are what you'd call meta skills. They make you way more valuable in pretty much any field. Why? Because they directly lead to more income. At the end of the day, people pay top dollar for experts they know, like, and trust.
Okay, so your income engine is fired up and running. Now you've got to channel all that cash into pillar number 3, your compounding machine. This is where the magic really starts to happen. This is how you make your money work for you 24/7, growing and growing, even while you're sleeping.
Now, building this machine starts with a few absolutely critical moves. First things first, you have to crush any high-interest debt. Anything over 6% is like a hole in your gas tank. It's a guaranteed negative return. Next, you max out every single tax-advantaged account you can get your hands on. Your 401k, your Roth IRA, this is non-negotiable. Then beef up that emergency fund, maybe from 6 months to even 12. This gives you options and peace of mind. And maybe the hardest part, you have to resist that temptation to upgrade your lifestyle. Instead, you upgrade your savings rate.
And if you're wondering why focusing on things like tax-advantaged accounts is so important, just look at this number. $28,000. That's roughly how much money you could lose to taxes on a single Roth IRA investment over 30 years simply by having it in the wrong account. That's literally money you're just leaving on the table for the government to take. It's the lowest hanging fruit there is.
And as your net worth climbs past that 100K mark, your strategy has to evolve. It's not just about pure aggressive growth anymore. It's about growth plus preservation. We're talking about strategic diversification. Now, this doesn't mean being super conservative. It just means being smart, adding things like real estate or maybe some bonds to protect your capital from those crazy market swings so your compounding machine never has to shut down.
All right, finally, let's talk about the thing that holds all of this together. Pillar number 4, your personal operating system. This is all about building systems that automate your success, get rid of decision fatigue, and just make sure you can execute on your plan consistently for the long haul.
This quote from Dan Martell is just perfect.
Millionaires build systems, billionaires build people. You see, you can't do it all yourself. You start by building systems to make your own efforts more powerful. But to really truly scale, you have to build systems that use other people, so you can buy back your most precious asset, your time.
And a really great way to do this is with something called the buyback loop. It's simple. First, you audit your time. Look at your calendar. What are the tasks that just drain you? Then you transfer them. You can literally just record yourself doing the task, maybe use an AI tool to create a simple guide, and then delegate it. And the final step? You fill that new free time with the really high leverage stuff that only you can do to move the needle. And you know what? The same principle applies directly to your finances. Automate everything. Your 401k contributions, funding your IRA, paying your bills. Set it and forget it. Because listen, your willpower, it's a finite resource. It's gonna fail you eventually. But good, robust systems, they won't. They are the absolute bedrock of financial discipline.
So here's the most important takeaway from all of this. These 4 pillars, they aren't some rigid checklist you have to follow step by step. Think of it more like a blueprint. These are the core components you need to start architecting your own unique path to serious wealth. So to recap our blueprint, first, you've got to shift that mindset from just saving to truly accelerating. Second, you build a beast of an income engine fueled by high-value skills. Third, you optimize that compounding machine for tax efficiency and smart strategic growth. And fourth, you install your personal operating system, your set of automations and systems to make sure it all runs smoothly.
At the end of the day, getting from 100,000 to the next level isn't about some single giant leap. It's built decision by decision, one smart choice at a time, compounding over and over again. So the only real question left is, what's your next move?